In the blazing summer of 1943, the Pacific Ocean stretched endlessly under a merciless sun, a watery grave waiting for its next victim. And into this unforgiving expanse fell a man whose story would become one of the greatest real-life horror survival sagas ever told. Louis Zamperini, once a rebellious child who became a celebrated Olympic runner, now a U.S. Army Air Force bombardier fighting in World War II. A man whose life would be ripped apart and rebuilt through suffering, resilience, and unbreakable willpower. Born to Italian immigrants in California, Louis grew up tough, a troublemaker who stole, fought, and almost lost his way until he discovered running, his gift of speed lifting him out of chaos, carrying him all the way to the 1936 Berlin Olympics where he raced before Hitler himself, his future promising glory on the track. But war changed everything, dragging him from stadiums to battlefields, and on May 27, 1943, his B-24 bomber, the Green Hornet, malfunctioned during a rescue mission and crashed into the Pacific, killing most of the crew, leaving only 3 men clinging to 2 tiny rafts. Louis, pilot Russell Allen Phillips, and tail gunner Francis McNamara, their plane gone, their supplies almost nothing, and the endless ocean ready to devour them. Sharks circled beneath, the sun scorched their skin, saltwater cracked their lips, storms battered them, and hunger gnawed their insides. Yet Louis's spirit refused to collapse. When Mac panicked and ate their only chocolate ration on the first night, dooming them to weeks of starvation, Louis steadied Phil and himself. Choosing to survive on raw fish they managed to catch with bare hooks, on rainwater collected in cans, and on the sheer stubbornness of hope, reciting prayers, telling stories, and clinging to life one day at a time. The days stretched into weeks, their bodies wasting away, sharks ramming the rafts, planes overhead strafing them with bullets, forcing them to leap into the ocean and punch sharks with bleeding fists. Nightmares alive in every direction, yet Louis endured, his faith growing stronger even as his body shrank to skin and bones, until after 47 days adrift, when most men would have long been dead, they finally sighted land. But it was the Marshall Islands, controlled by Japan, and instead of rescue came capture, shackles, and the descent into a new kind of hell. Dragged into Japanese prisoner of war camps, Louis was beaten, starved, humiliated, and tortured daily, his body broken but his spirit unbroken, especially under the sadistic cruelty of Matsuhiro, the bird, Watanabe, a guard obsessed with destroying him, striking him with fists and clubs, forcing other prisoners to beat him, singling him out as if breaking Louis would prove his own dominance. Yet every time Louis staggered back to his feet, refusing to bow, his defiance silent but unyielding, until after more than 2 years of imprisonment, after enduring disease, starvation, and psychological torment that could have shattered anyone, the war finally ended, Japan surrendered, and Louis, a walking skeleton but still alive, was liberated, stepping out of captivity with scars on his body but fire still in his eyes, returning home to America a hero whose story of survival stunned the world. But the horror did not end with freedom. Nightmares haunted him, anger consumed him, and alcohol nearly destroyed him. Proof that sometimes survival after the event is its own battle. Yet in his darkest moment he found redemption through faith, turning his trauma into testimony, forgiveness into freedom, even forgiving the bird who had tortured him, proving that true survival is not only living through horror but rising above it. Louis Zamperini's story, told in the book and film Unbroken, is not just about war, sharks, starvation, and torture, but about the indomitable human spirit, about the refusal to give up even when every force in the world is against you. And his journey stands as a towering reminder to us all that no matter how terrifying the storm, how merciless the enemy, or how hopeless the fight, if you choose to hold on, to endure, to keep faith alive in your heart, you too can survive your own ocean, your own prison, your own unrelenting hell, and walk out unbroken into the light of a new day.